Welcome to the Haddon Ya Heard podcast, presented by Mako Media, where we will be having conversations with local business owners, getting an idea of who it is, helping build our community, what it is they have going on right now, and why it is they do what they do. On today's episode, Haddon Ya Heard, of Philip Haxby Thompson, or more well known as Pip of JFK Living. Pip is the creative director and team lead of JFK Living real estate team. Pip, their team leader, Jeremiah Kobelka, and their team are here to make the process of buying and selling your home effortless. Let's get to know a little bit more about Pip and the JFK Living team today. Thanks for joining me, Pip.
Doug, thank you very much for having you, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Excited to be here.
Of course, I'm excited to have you on. Thank you. So let's get started a little bit about the JFK Living team. How did it all begin? How did you guys come up with the name?
So that is a very good question and something that gets asked often because obviously JFK Living is a pretty big, well-known set of initials. My husband, Jeremiah, his initials are JFK, hence JFK Living. And when we set up the team, we always knew we wanted to develop a team and have a team of agents, but we didn't want it to be the Jeremiah Kobelka team. We wanted something more generic so the individual agents within the team could develop their brand as well. And our focus from the beginning was always homes, lifestyle, and community, hence JFK Living, and that's how it was born. It was started, Jeremiah got his real estate license back in October 2017. Didn't really dive in until the January of 2018. I joined that summer, and that's when it was all sort of started. And we've developed from there. Now we're a team of, 12 agents. I think we've got 4 joining next week.
Wow.
We've got 5 staff members, so
quite the growing team for sure.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
exciting.
Particularly this last year, there's been this sort of like crazy growth, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and you guys take over the social media game pretty well, pretty quickly. I love
Thank
all
you.
the videos. It's fun, exciting.
Yep.
You make the real estate media marketing aspect, different.
Yep.
I guess with that said, how would you best describe JFK Living in 30 seconds if you could? Because I know you guys are trying to be a different brand than the competitors.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So first off, I have to do a huge shout out to our amazing marketing manager, Steph Scott, who joined us in June of 2020, who really helped us develop the brand and kind of put it on steroids. So our tagline is now real estate, but make it awesome. So we're really trying to make sure that the client experience is as streamlined as possible. We like to educate our clients as much as possible. We also like to highlight the community. That's a huge part of our brand. So whether we're highlighting our local businesses or we're helping with some of the bigger events in town, such as Haddon Township Pride, or we have our quarterly JFK Giving, where we're giving back to local nonprofits, and just having fun. That's part of our core values, and something that we really differentiates us from a lot of our other real estate competitors in the area. Yeah,
you mentioned having fun. I wanted to ask you, in 30 seconds or less, in a goofy manner, how would you describe JFK Living?
Oh my goodness. So we love to tell real estate dad jokes. We do Thirsty Thursdays, Foodie Fridays, and we're not frightened of making a fool of ourselves on camera. And people really respond well to it. In fact, we just got back from a conference this last week, and practically everyone there who already follows us on Instagram, the immediate thing was like, oh my goodness, I love Wednesdays when Jeremiah gets to annoy Pip with...
I wanted to ask, how did that pop up? Where did it start?
Yeah, so we follow a lot of other big real estate teams around the country, and we're always kind of like looking for inspiration. But something as creative director, I'm always like, well, what can we do? What can we do that's kind of unique? I'm always looking for, rather than just kind of copying other people, what can we do that's specific to us? Everyone loves a dad joke. We know that already. And I was like, well, why don't we kind of create a real estate dad joke series? We'll run it on a Wednesday. And we always have it where Jeremiah tells a joke and I'm always the recipient of it.
I love it. I love the bit. It's catchy. I keep an eye out for when they come on because
people really respond well to it.
It's a good one.
It's easy to consume, and it kind of shows off a bit about our brand, what we're about.
So, Pip, where is the business located? And you want to talk a little bit about the new building that you guys have to show off?
Absolutely. So we're down at 45 Haddon Ave, which is right next to Blue, opposite Cook's Liquor in downtown Westmont. We started renting the downstairs space, and just within the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, we have actually now opened up upstairs. So we have the whole building. So yeah, it's very exciting.
I love the exterior, the paint job you guys have on the building. It is cool. You guys have a really cool brand. The color scheme I've told you previously, when I see your signs out on the street, I'm like, these guys have something going for them.
So funny story about that. We were actually, John Torres, a local musician and painter, he came along to paint the outside of the building. Painting it black, working on like all the pink trim, and somebody drove past and slowed down and sort of hollered out the window. They go, "Well, it's about time Haddon Township had its first brothel." Listen, we're not frightened to buck the trend and be out there and loud and colorful, and that's kind of
good for you guys. It really pops the color scheme you guys go, and I love it.
Yep. Thank you.
I love seeing the signs, like I said. I guess with that said, I want to talk a little bit about the origin story of Pip. How'd you get started with Jeremiah? How'd you guys connect? You may have mentioned it a little bit earlier, but give me a little more background about you guys.
Yeah, so where are we now? We are in 2022. So we've been together, we met 10 years ago. We met online. He was living in Palm Springs, California, and I was living in the UK. And we connected purely by chance, got chatting, got video messaging, and I decided to make a trip out to Palm Springs that January in 2013. Had a great 10-day vacation. At the end of the vacation, we got into this huge argument because we're like, what the hell? You live here, I live there. What's going on here?
I was going to say, why and how did you end up in Haddon?
Well, after all that, we decided, okay, we'll try and make this work. I spent some time over in Palm Springs on and off, but Jeremiah's family live in or just on the outskirts of Medford, New Jersey. So in 2015, he moved back to be closer to his family. And we were kind of at a crossroads, I guess, in our relationship. And it was either, I commit to being over here. And yeah, I did. So made the move to the East Coast. He sold me on Philadelphia, but we ended up in South Jersey. It's fine. But we came over, and I have to say I really love it over on the East Coast, particularly this area. People are real. There's a lot to do. You're right outside of Philly. You're not far to New York. I love the change of seasons. It's a great little community.
I think this is one of the best communities to be a part of, especially with its growth right now. Yeah. Me and my fiance, we settled down here and we were looking all over, and this place just kind of spoke to us too. So we're glad to have you guys here. It's
exciting. Do you live in Haddon
I live in Collingswood.
Collingswood, yeah. So this whole little community, and I've only been here since 2016 on the East Coast, so I'm not quite sure of what it used to be like. But having spoken to a lot of people who have lived around here, I mean, Collingswood itself you just didn't want to live there. And the redevelopment and regeneration of this entire area, particularly with its local businesses, has really skyrocketed it into success. A house the other day sold on Homestead Avenue for $720,000 in Collingswood, which that just blew my mind, that we are seeing these home prices because it is such a popular neighborhood, an area to be in.
It really is. The community's growing, businesses are growing, you guys are growing. With that said, how do you guys see JFK Living as a huge part of the community? What do you guys like to do to kind of, be there for people?
Mm-hmm. So our MO was pretty much from the beginning, we've got to give back. And even when it was just Jeremiah and I from from the start, where we didn't really know much about real estate. We didn't really know much about anything. We knew that we had to be video first, and one of our directives was to give back to local community members by shooting videos. And I mean, they weren't the best videos, let's be honest, but we would get there with our iPhones, do little interviews about it, share it on social media. And we were really some of the first agents in the area that ended up doing it. And it was really well received. And similar to what you're doing now with the podcast, inviting local business members on, there are plenty of businesses in the area, whilst they're very good at their business, they're maybe not so good at the marketing aspect or the social aspect. So being able to give back to them by sharing their story on social media does make a huge impact. We've always been about it. We'll always continue to do it. And yeah, that's pretty much what we like to do.
I can relate to the video stuff as well. I always hear from my mentors and everything, I'm a perfectionist, and they say, just make it, just put it out there. It's never going to be perfect.
Right.
And when it's raw, kind of like the stuff that you guys put out a lot, it really brings in the community a little more. They relate to you guys.
Absolutely.
And it's more fun that way. Cause like, who wants to be 100% serious all the time? Like, come on.
Not us.
Yeah. And I think that's really awesome with your guys' brands. It really speaks to the community. What pushed you and Jeremiah to go in full time with the real estate business itself?
Yeah, it's a good question. So Jer, he's originally from a hospitality background. I'm from a background in hospitality. I'm also a trained acupuncturist as well, so a bit of a slight career, a bit left at the traffic lights for that one. But he got into it first, and then he persuaded me to get into real estate. Now, if you'd have asked me prior to that, would you ever get into real estate? I would have said absolutely not. No way. I mean, in the UK, an estate agent is sort of held up there with, like traffic warden status. It's not a particularly glamorous position. There's a lot of mistrust, I feel, within the real estate industry as well, in terms of the consumer and the agent. So when I eventually got into it, I saw that you could be an agent that not only improves the client experience, but also gives back to the community. That's when I was like, okay, now I get this. This is why I want to do it. It's not just about the buying or selling of houses. There's so much more to it. And when you can have fun with it, the clients really respect that and respond to it. When you create these sort of wild, wacky listing videos, we've been jumping in swimming pools and, doing fake yoga in the park and all sorts of things. It just creates a fun experience that is memorable. I've had people stop me in the street and they go, hang on, are you a real estate agent in the area? And I go, yeah. And they go, oh, I saw you in that video, the house with the diamond windows. I'm like, yeah, that was me.
That's pretty cool. And you guys have so much fun. What's your favorite part about the JFK Living team?
My favorite part is, I have to say the content creation, when we have these sort of crazy fun ideas, and we roll with it. That's definitely a fun part of it. The thing that really kind of speaks to my heart, though, I have to say, is probably the giving back. Being able to now be in a position to sponsor some of these big events like Haddon Ya Heard Pride, or our quarterly JFK Giving. The last one we did, we gave back to Kaleidoscope, which is a local nonprofit for LGBT youth. And we gave a fairly sizable check to them. And when we presented it, Robin, one of the leaders there, she literally just broke down in tears. And she's like, you have no idea what an impact this will make for our program over the next 12 months. And she was so appreciative, and just being able to do that, that's the fun stuff is great and all. And like, that is, it's great having fun, but when you're able to do something that's really impactful in the community, that speaks to you, that speaks to your soul.
Yeah, 100%. You guys are out here making a difference, having fun doing it, which is a benefit, right?
Yeah.
So with that, you kind of mentioned donations and events that you guys are a part of. I love the JFK Giving. That's the coolest tag on your guy play on name ever. What kind of events do you guys have coming up in the next few months that you would like to kind of shout out? Is there anything happening or?
Yeah, good question. So the South Jersey Pride having an event at Cooper River Park on September 11th. So I'll be putting on my other hat, which is one of the board members for Haddon Township Equity Initiative. So I'll be there with the HTI gang. We've got a table set up. The big event for JFK Living, we have our big end of year party, which is going to be the Saturday before Thanksgiving. We actually have a block party. We block off Stratford Avenue. We'll have Jillian from Just Fork It, who'll be serving chili. We'll have fire pits out. We'll have a bar. We did that last year. We call it our pity party. The reason we call it that, so bear with me. So your monthly mortgage payment, which if you remember when you purchased your house, is made up of your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, PITI, pity. And what we do, anyone who is invited to the party gets a ticket into a drawer, and from that drawer, we pay somebody's December mortgage payment, which is pretty cool. Last year, the winners, Ryan and Lauren, they were so appreciative, and they were like, this couldn't have come at a better time. And I can't disclose any info, but they were just very, very appreciative of that money at that time. And again, just another way of kind of giving back to our clients and our community.
That's incredible, Pip. Like, super incredible. I love it. I love it. I love it. How would you guys kind of see, your business evolving going forward, I guess, in the short term and then the long term?
Yeah. One thing that we are developing right now is being a resource not only for our clients, but also the agents on our team, being able to give them the support and tools necessary for them to become successful agents in an own of their own right. That has been something very cool that we're starting to see, particularly over this last year. So our sort of end goal is we would love to have, 30, 35 agents on the team. And whilst continuing to stay true to our core values of education, client excellence, giving back, and having fun. But just becoming this kind of great team. We want to be the Google of real estate. We want to we just want to have a great environment for people to come in and work hard, play hard.
So when you're looking for new potential team members, what are you kind of looking for in them? What's needed to be with the JFK?
Yeah,
Living
good
team?
question. Somebody who's got some drive. When real estate is not an easy job, you've definitely got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You've got to have some drive and momentum to kind of, grow your business. You not be frightened of talking to people. We look for a certain element of, humor and fun. We're a very close-knit team. So we want to make sure that we're maintaining the culture that we've developed on the team, and that people really fit in with that. Just work hard, play hard. That's what we're looking for.
I love it. With that said, let's take it away a little bit from the business. Yeah. Let's talk about some more fun things. I guess JFK Living itself is pretty fun, but what's your favorite TV show right now, Pip?
Ooh, God, that's a really good question. I did just watch The Morning Show. That was great. I really enjoyed that.
This morning?
We've just been watching Ted Lasso as well, and that's like,
I've heard Ted Lasso's incredible.
It is. It's just such a heartwarming, fun show, and of course it's like that blend of American and British, which I can relate to.
Do you and Jeremiah have any pets at home?
We do. We've got two dogs, Osha and Tully, two Cocker Spaniels. They're 8 years old. We got them while we were in Palm Springs, and love them dearly.
Beautiful, beautiful. And do you have any kind of role models or anything that you guys look up to during your business to kind of push JFK Living to the next level? I know you guys were just at a big event to kind of help the growth of the team. So anybody come to mind?
Yeah, there's a lot of the bigger team players out there that are very inspirational. In terms of videos, Tim Smith out of California is definitely sort of one of my idols. His listing videos will just, I mean, they're full-scale productions. He probably spends tens of thousands of dollars on them. And there'll be anything from full music videos to, a whole troupe of dancers like dancing through the house, or, multiple actors, recreating various scenes. I can't say we're ever going to get to that stage because we're not selling, $30 million homes here. But just to kind of get some ideas and inspiration, I think that's really great.
Well, don't sell your production short. I've watched your videos. They're incredible. The home tours you guys do, super inviting and a great watch. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, of course.
I will take that. Thanks.
And I know when you have to get up, and I don't know how often you guys film, but when you get up, you could be having a bad day. You could be having a good day. I listen to music to push myself through the day, to inspire me to make something cool. Are there any kind of songs that you guys go to, you and Jeremiah or the team, that really inspire you on a daily basis before production?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that one. I got nothing.
No worries. Do you have a favorite artist?
Do I have a favorite artist? I quite like Emiliana Turini. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's half Italian, half Icelandic, and she's got this incredible voice. And I remember back in 2009, I saw her perform at a festival in the UK, and when you watch something and it kind of like just sticks in your mind of one of those sort of core memories. Yes. That was that moment, and there was this sort of visual of videos of flying over clouds, and she was singing this beautiful song, and someone on a slide guitar, and I was like, wow, this
that's awesome. I'll have to check her out. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Having those kind of core memories pop up, stick with you and kind of drive you through life and kind of keep to your person, So with that said, the JFK Living team, first off, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you joining,
Doug.
Pip. It was really fun. Before we sign off, let's wrap it up with a little philosophy of what the JFK Living and Pip stand for, and Jeremiah stand for when you go out with your business.
I would say it's kind of hearkening back to our original mission objective, which is homes, lifestyle, and community. We're all about marketing. We're about client excellence. We're about education, and we're about giving back to our community as much as we can, and work hard, play hard.
Well, Pip, thank you so much for joining me. You guys are the most fun real estate team I can say so far that I've met. I look forward to checking you guys out.
Yep.
Thank you again. Thank you for joining us on today's episode with our special guest, Pip from JFK Living Real Estate Team. Please check out all of their social medias to stay tuned to all things happening in real estate. I'll promise you won't want to miss their awesome videos. And catch us again next time for another special guest. So stay tuned to Haddon Ya Heard.